people really want to have some sort of direction and meaning to what they're doing.
The vision that we have is to assist the young people here to become saints.
All humans have some sort of innate desire for that something more, something bigger, wherever they try to find it. Now the place it is to be found, the only place is in God Himself.
Father Vaccaro, he carries out the St. John Bosco method, bringing Christ and also helping students to know that they're loved. The one mission he had was to bring Christ on campus in Eucharistic procession. There's been so many blessings that came from it, many conversions that took place.
You really feel like Christ's light kind of moving through this darkness. It helps people really reflect on, maybe if they're not Catholic or Christian, like, you know, what's my purpose here? And I think that this is just a beautiful example to others that are even non-Catholic, like, what's the real meaning of life?
O sacrament most holy, O sacrament divine, all praise and all thanksgiving be every moment thine.
So I find in my time here that every year it becomes more difficult to make the initial connection. You're not even sure who the Christians are. And so you're basically on a search and rescue mission, hoping to find the people and allow them the opportunity to experience in a unique way the love that God has for them.
We literally have to go out to get people to bring them in. They're not flocking in. And so the struggle of faith is there, both for the people on campus. They feel like they're the only ones who are Catholic. And when they come to find that at the Catholic campus ministry, there's a whole community of people growing in the faith. It's like a family to them. Now in this day and age, students are not connected with one another.
You have TV, you have the internet, you have the social media on the internet. There's just so many things that you can go out and do that like satisfy that quick itch of like, oh, here's my dopamine. And so they think that kind of fills the void, but then they still feel very unfulfilled and unpurposeful, and they don't know why.
I know many times on this campus, it's like they don't even acknowledge each other walking past. And I think that desire of like community and growing with one another is deep, deep down inside, and also that search for Christ.
I definitely felt alone on campus before. I had pretty much no friends. I had a really hard time meeting people, but with borrowing God's grace and God's goodness, I was able to develop more friendships and deepen my friendships. And some of my longest friendships that I've had so far have been made at the Catholic Student Center.
The joy of being Catholic and knowing that faith, but then inviting friends is so powerful.
My family would maybe go to a Christmas service, but other than that, I had absolutely no experience with God or with any form of religious activity. I had never prayed. And then Katrina knocked on my door for the Tuesday talks, which were all about the faith and what's what, and really just the basics. And I, having an approximate interest in God, decided to show up. There was pizza, and I kept coming every week. And I learned more and more, and as I learned more, the more I realized I didn't know, and the more I realized that I wanted to know more. I started to believe, and I started to really want to be Catholic. And it was just an absolutely beautiful experience of coming to know God and to know His sacrifice and His love and everything He'd made for the world and for us.
Something that the students definitely, I think, they encounter when you encounter Christ and realize His love. Then when they go back on campus, it's like they bring other people back.
It is introducing or deepening young people's love of the church, particularly in the Eucharistic celebrations, whether it be Mass or adoration. Also encouraging them in the life of a regular confession practice, along with daily prayer. When you explain things to young people, you need to explain that what you're doing is reasonable. It makes sense. It is not enough that the young are loved. They must know that they are loved. The Lord can reroute through a genuine touch of the heart people from a passion for the things of the world to a passion for heaven. And a number of our alumni, we've had many young women enter the convent. This year we had the third young woman enter the same religious order. We have a priest that was ordained and is now down the street at St. Mary's. We've had numerous couples get married. We've got youth ministers and people teaching CCD and people starting families, that you see the faith alive. It's not just a faith that's here and then they leave and you don't know what's going on. They stay in touch with one another and they care for one another. So the community is something that they carry with them as they grow in faith and serve the church. So they begin to live the very mission that we hopefully introduce them to.